What's up, guys? Welcome back to Double Dragon Gaming. Today, we're going to quickly go over and review Avengers Endgame. My personal take on the movie. I saw it last Saturday at a midnight showing and got out of the movie around 3:15 in the morning. I wanted to make a video right away and be one of the first people to do a review on Endgame. But I figured I don't have a big following anyway, and it didn't really matter, so I wanted to sit and mull it over and really think about how I wanted to present this review. Because I liked the movie, but I didn't love it. When I walked out of Avengers Infinity War, I walked out of that movie thinking that was one of the best movies I had ever seen, right? So Endgame, I had a very, very high bar set for this movie. And unfortunately, it didn't quite do it for me. And I'm still not entirely sure why. Maybe I have to see it again, and I'll change my mind. But again, Infinity War, I left that movie. It was the best movie I had ever saw. This one I walked out of there like, nah, that wasn't quite as good as I was hoping for. So as always, I wrote down some talking points, some of the things that I had issues with, and some of the things that I liked. So it wasn't as funny as Infinity War, and it had some cheesy moments, in my opinion. So one of the things that stand out for me was when Hulk was trying to get on the elevator and there wasn't enough room, and he was like, "Hulk mad, Hulk don't take stairs." I just thought that was a little cheesy. I don't know, it wasn't funny. It wasn't as funny as Infinity War. Infinity War, I was cracking up, I was laughing most of the time. This movie, it had its moments, for sure. I definitely laughed periodically, but it just wasn't as funny as Infinity War. And I thought there was a lot of cheesy moments throughout the film. Maybe that's just me. Again, maybe I have to see it again, but that was one of the moments that stood out that I just thought was kind of silly. I didn't like the time travel plot for this movie. Now, I know that's how it really was supposed to go. Going into the movie, I figured that's how it was going to happen anyway, but for some reason, I just didn't like the time travel plot in this movie. I don't have any issues with time travel. I like Back to the Future. But for this movie, for some reason, I just didn't, I don't know. It didn't do it for me, and I'm still trying to figure out why. But the time travel plot, didn't love it. And then there's the Hulk, right? So I love the Hulk. I think he's a great character. And when the first Avengers movie came out, they made the Hulk seem terrifying. They made him seem like he was one of the strongest of the Avengers. And he was frightening. He was an animal, he was monstrous. But as the movies started to go on, they started giving him dialogue, and I think they really should have waited to give him so much dialogue. Thor Ragnarok was a great movie, but it was a little odd seeing him talking so much. It's just not what I expected. And, I know in this movie he was Professor Hulk, and that's fine. Him having dialogue in this movie was fine, I had no issues with that, but he seemed really small. In fact, throughout the whole arc of these movies, I thought he was just way too small. The Hulk is supposed to be massive. They could have made him whatever size they wanted, but he seemed tiny. He seemed like, compared to the other Avengers, he was obviously bigger, but not that much bigger. And I'm sure the die-hard comics out there, the comic fans are going to say, well, that's how big he's supposed to be. Yeah, I guess, but I just thought he should have been bigger. And, in Infinity War, he lost against Thanos pretty decisively, honestly. And so I was hoping for a rematch between them. And it never happens. You never see Hulk fight Thanos. In fact, Hulk doesn't fight anybody, really. He does some things here and there in the movie to save guys. But as Professor Hulk, he doesn't do anything. And just because he's Professor Hulk doesn't mean he can't fight. Again, underutilized, I think, the Hulk was in this film, and not what I was expecting from him. So that's my take on the Hulk. Then there was some long, drawn-out moments, a lot of talking, not quite as much action as I was hoping for. Sure, in the end of the film, there was a lot of action going on, and that end fight scene, that was great. That final battle, a lot of characters to cram in at the end there, and maybe that was another reason why I didn't like it. I mean, when you pack so many characters into one film, even a 3-hour-long film, most of these characters don't get much screen time at all, and they were kind of just thrown in there because they had to be there. But you know, it was just a lot of long drawn out moments. Then we've got Thor. He was kind of fat, and it was funny, but it was kind of weird too. So he had some funny lines, and I love Thor as a character. He's probably one of my favorite Avengers, aside from the Hulk and Iron Man. And he had some funny lines. You know, it was definitely keeping me. I was laughing a bunch, but I was almost hoping that once he transformed and got his suit on and everything, that he would go back to his strongest form. He kept that gut throughout the movie, and you know, it worked for some parts, but it was just a little bizarre. I didn't expect that, you know, to see him like that. And then there was the Hawkeye scene, right? So when the movie started, I loved the way the opening part of this movie happened. You know, Hawkeye's there training with his daughter, and his family's having like a picnic type of thing, and then all of a sudden he turns around and they're all gone. And that, you know, leads him to become very aggravated, pissed off, and then I guess he goes on this kind of rampage. But at first I didn't realize, there was a scene there where they were in like China or Japan, I don't know, and they were like fighting ninjas. At first I was like, where are they going with this? I just didn't understand. And then I finally got it, that, you know, he had probably turned to a life of being like a renegade, or you know, not a villain, but you know, he was doing some messed up stuff, and then Black Widow comes in and, you know, kind of gives him some hope that he can get his family back. But at first I didn't understand that scene very much, and I wasn't really, I don't know, digging it. So that was a little weird. I didn't like the way Thanos was defeated. So that final battle was great, but the way in which Thanos was defeated, I don't know. It didn't do it for me. Tony Stark defeats Thanos, you know, snapping his glove, and makes Thanos go away. But I don't know. It's not how I wanted to see him be put down. So it was, you know, it's just not how I expected him to be defeated. But again, you know, maybe if I see it again, I'll change my mind. But first impressions, and I've only seen this movie one time, you know, I don't know. It's just not how I wanted him to be defeated. So I didn't like that. I didn't like Falcon getting the shield at the end. I thought Bucky should have got that, you know, should have got the shield. I mean, Bucky's Captain America's best friend, and I think, you know, Falcon should have stayed Falcon, and Bucky should have got the shield. But in the end, you know, Falcon gets the shield, and you know, that's cool, that's fine. I'm sure that's going to work out just fine, but not what I was expecting there, not what I was hoping for there also. So, like I said, I set the bar for this movie very high. I had very high expectations. I was looking forward to this for a long time. I thought this movie was going to be perfect, and it wasn't perfect for me. What I did like, the special effects, absolutely amazing, as always. I mean, the consistency of these films, they're all just, you know, A+, the way they're directed and presented. It was more of the story, the way it was written, that I didn't, you know, like the time travel stuff and everything, that I didn't quite enjoy so much. The end battle scene was great, but, you know, overall, there was some issues I had with the movie, and I'll have to see it again. But then we're going into Phase 4 now, so this completes Phase 3, and it was a good ending to Phase 3. I liked the movie, don't get me wrong, I thought it was really good, it just wasn't exactly perfect. So now we're going into Phase 4, and there's a lot to look forward to. You got Doctor Strange 2, you got Black Widow coming out, you've got Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which is probably going to be called as Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and then Black Panther 2. So there's a lot of movies to look forward to. It should be, you know, interesting to see where things go from here. If I had to give this movie a rating on a 1 to 10 scale, I would have to give it an 8 out of 10, whereas Infinity War was like a 9.5 out of 10, or closer to a 10. This movie is more like an 8 out of 10, in my opinion. I'd like to know what you guys think. I know most people loved the movie, they enjoyed it, and they're probably gonna, don't be afraid to give this a thumbs down. You know, if you want to leave some negative comments, that's okay. Just engage, you know, let me know how you feel, what you thought. I'm very curious to see what people thought about the movie. But I had to give my take on it. And, you know, again, I wanted to get this video out really quick, so I could be one of the first, but, you know, I had to sit and think about it. I had stuff going on. I couldn't just do it right away. So initially my plan was after the movie was done, my father, my brother, and myself, we were going to all sit and do a review together, but it just didn't work out that way. So, but that'll do it for today, guys. I'm hoping to do some more videos like this. I want to do something on Game of Thrones for the last episode that just came out, Season 8, Episode 3. So I'm going to do a review on that episode because that one's been getting a lot of backlash online. So I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do some more movies. I'm going to do some anime stuff. So I'm trying to do some different things besides just gaming. But and remember, we have our own Discord server now called All Things Gaming. And if you want to talk to me and my brother, we're on there. We got some friends on there now. It's coming along nicely. So feel free to come join that. I'll leave the link in the description below so you guys can come check it out if you want to. And as always, we'll be back with more videos, more games to play. Thanks guys for watching the video, and we'll be back soon. All right? Take care. Thanks.